Hello everyone, welcome back. How are we all doing? Are we feeling okay? I hope you're feeling okay, and if you're not, maybe today actually might help you out, because I was thinking about what could we talk about, what would benefit you guys, what would people like to hear, what would people like to be advised on. I thought, you know what, let's talk winter January blues, because this time of year is it's a slow time of year. And I think we all know how much pressure society puts on us to feel like we should be busy, to feel like we should be doing loads of things, we should be super active, we should be eating healthy, no more crap food because it's been Christmas. Christmas is over now, like move out of the way, crap food, back to healthy diet. And all of these things, along with like feeling like maybe you should be social but you don't really want to be social. A lot of people are doing dry Jan, and all these kind of things, and it's really hard to feel, I don't know, like to know where to go, to know what you want to do, to feel excited about things, because often in January nothing really exciting happens unless you have a birthday or you have exciting plans in Jan. Often it's a very kind of crap, cold, dull month. I'm really sorry, it really is. And I think January is my least favourite month, and February. I don't really like either of the months, to be honest. I just don't feel like there's anything majorly exciting that happens in them. And I think that's just because I don't have anything that happens in those months. Like I don't know anyone's birthdays, or actually no, I have a friend's birthday who's in February. But do you know what I mean? Like, for the most part, like nothing really exciting is happening at this time of year. And to top it all off, the weather is such a mood changer. When the weather's beautiful and sunny, it's sunny today as I'm recording this, and the motivation I've had today, oh my god, went to Pilates, came home, did a little bit of emails, cracked on with that, then I'm filming, then I'm recording this, and I'm like, whoa, the things I'm getting done today. But when it was cloudy and dull and rainy yesterday, oh God, I tried. I felt tired. I felt exhausted. I sat on the sofa for a lot of the day. I was doing work on my laptop, but I just really didn't feel very excited about it. And then I sparked a little bit of motivation towards the afternoon, and I thought, now's my opportunity. Did a bit of work, and then I just went back into this like lull again, and I was like, I'm done with this. But the problem is, you can't rely on the weather to give you that good boost of motivation. You just don't know what the weather's gonna do. So if you rely on that, then you're just gonna be in bed all the time because the weather is terrible at this time of year. I'm just grateful, to be honest, that it's not freezing cold at the moment, because that freezing cold week or so that we had, that was horrible. Did not enjoy that. Absolutely did not enjoy that. I don't mind colder weather, but when it's that cold and you're having to wear layers and your toes are numb, no thank you. Not a bit of me. So like the weather has a huge impact on how we feel, and you kind of have to remember that, okay, if it is sunny and it does boost your motivation and it does boost your mood, amazing, that is great. But you can't rely on, there's a sunny day, I know I can get loads of stuff done, I know I'll feel better, because sometimes it can be super sunny and you won't feel like you want to do anything. And sometimes it can be rainy and you can be the most productive person ever. So it's really just dependent on, how you're feeling and what you're going through, what you're doing that day, etc., etc. And I think that we kind of have to find our own things that make the January blues or the winter blues that tiny little bit better in our own way, because everyone's going to be different, and how you like to live your life, what you like to do, what makes you feel good, what fills you with joy is going to be different to the next person. So you have to think about all these things that you could do that would make you feel better, because everyone has personal things. Like for me, if I wanted to make myself feel better, I'd probably have a pamper. I'd like put a face mask on, maybe fake tan, because winter uglies are also a big thing, and really like have a nice dinner, eat something I really wanted to eat, chocolate, maybe a glass of Prosecco, maybe a hot chocolate, maybe a Diet Coke, depending on my mood. And then I might even just have a little wander around the shops, just because that would fill me with a little bit of joy, just to have a little wander around. Do you know what I mean? Like, those things I know will make me feel good. Or I'd watch my favourite movie. Always good idea. Always a good idea to watch your favourite movie. Love to know what your favourite movies are. That is definitely something I would love to know. My favourite movie, for anyone who's wondering, is, well, actually I have two. One of them is Confessions of a Shopaholic, and the other one is Hairspray. Hairspray is one of the best movies ever. It's just pure joy, and I refuse to believe that. No, how could you not like that? Welcome to the 60s. What? Go, mama, go, go, go. Welcome to the 60s. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, mama. Yeah. There we go. If that doesn't convince you to go and watch Hairspray, I don't know what will. But if you like a musical movie, I think you'll love it if you've never seen it. But anyway, you got to do things that make you feel good. That movie is always a good, like, mood booster for me. And even if you don't have a mood booster movie, listen to some mood booster music. I think there's a lot of things you personally will know will make you feel better and make you yourself feel a little bit more, okay, now I feel a little bit better. Because sometimes it is just about, like, getting through the day and doing something that can boost you somewhat. Because sometimes it's really hard. Buying yourself flowers is another one. But today I thought we could talk through some things that you can do that will hopefully boost your mood and make you feel a little bit better at this time of year, when it's cold, when it's dull, and it's just like, it's the worst time of year. Things that just are easy to incorporate into your life, but also things to remember as well. And the first one is to make sure you don't feel like you have to do everything straight away. We are led to believe that January you should be, like, up and at 'em and, working out, eating healthy, and starting that new thing you wanted to do, and, got to do everything at once. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You really don't have to do everything at once. As I mentioned in previous episodes, what you need to do is pick something, and then once you feel like you've got on top of that, then bring the next thing in, and then bring the next thing in. It's a slow process. You really don't have to do everything all at once. But I don't know why society makes us feel like, right, well, if you're working out, you can't have a bad diet. You must have both. You must have a healthy diet, and you must be working out, and you must be really going for it. And, like, do you know what? No. Because I felt a bit guilty for, like, at the start of the year, because I started doing Pilates again, and that was my one thing. I was like, I want to start doing Pilates again, and this is something I wanted to do in back in December, but I just had such a busy month. I really didn't have the time or the energy to work out. So I was just like, do you know what? I'll start back up in January. So yes, I probably do sound like one of those people that's like, oh yeah, work out. But that was my thing that I wanted to introduce at the start of the year. That was my one thing that I'm going to start with, and that was Pilates. And I was eating a bit badly. I can't lie. I was still eating my Christmas chocolate. I was still, not really thinking about what I was eating. And I felt guilty for it. But actually, it's not a guilty thing. It's not something to worry about. It's not something to really need to change straight away. Obviously, it's after Christmas. You're going to have leftover food. You're going to be still in that mood. It's a slow process to get out of that. But also, there's nothing wrong with having that time to adapt to getting back into working out and wanting to eat healthy and finding things that you like. But also, it's totally okay if you want to eat a bar of chocolate. Like, as long as you're getting out and about and you're doing things, you're not slumped on the sofa every single day. I mean, you can eat chocolate if you're slumped on the sofa every day. I'm not here to judge. But, there's no problem in it. You don't have to do everything at once. So I'm at the point now, we're at the end of Jan, and I have got Pilates in. I'm pretty on track with that, I'm pretty good with that. I'm now starting to introduce slightly healthier foods. I bought like a blender. No, what do you call it? A NutriBullet? It's not a NutriBullet. It's a cheaper one. Anyway, I got something to make smoothies. And I made a smoothie on the weekend and I was like, whoa, this is great. But like, I can't be doing that every single time because I'm still getting myself into the process of it. I'm still buying myself a chocolate bar if I want a chocolate bar. I'm still having a Diet Coke when I want to have a Diet Coke. I'm not going to take away those things that I know will make me feel good, especially at this time of year, purely for the fact that it's January and we should be doing all the healthy things. No, thank you. I will still have my Diet Coke. And then maybe at some point, maybe when we get to March, April, you can start introducing a little bit more, healthy eating. Maybe. But also, you don't have to. Do you know what I mean? Start Jan with one thing. And if you haven't started anything, if you're feeling a little bit lost with it and you're like, I don't know where to start, just pick one thing. Maybe that's reading a book more. Maybe that's working out, maybe that's eating healthy, maybe it's getting organized, maybe it's finding a new flat, finding a new job, whatever your one thing is that you really want to do this year and you really want to start, or that one little habit, maybe it's drinking more water. Start with that one thing, and then once you feel like you're on track with that one thing, then you can start to introduce other bits and bobs. Like for instance, for me, I said I'm doing Pilates. I have introduced trying to get into my routine, flossing my teeth, which is like, one of those things you should do anyway, but I haven't been. So that's my second thing that I brought in, because it becomes part of my nighttime routine. So I can easily fit it into that part of my life. So I was like, okay, I can do Pilates and I can do my nighttime routine. Those two things are quite separate, but I can easily incorporate them into my life. So those are my two things, and then I'm starting to bring healthy eating into that as well. So it's a slow process. Don't bring something in if you don't feel ready for it. Just take your time, bring those little things in when you can, but start with one thing, and then when you feel like you're on top of that, bring the next thing in. But whilst I'm on the topic of working out is a really, really good thing to do. Especially when you're feeling low, or if you feel like you're not doing a lot, or you're feeling a bit crap. Working out is always good. Now, I used to be someone who didn't believe this. I was like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, are you sure? And ever since I started doing Pilates last January, I totally get it. Like, it does make you feel a little bit more like ready for the day. It does like make you feel a little bit more awake and like you can do things. And it does get your body moving. And I think ultimately, if you don't want to work out, if you don't want to go to the gym, you don't want to do any of those things, then your most important thing for you to do is to just get your body moving. And if that means going for a walk, walking to the shop, walking to the tube station, or walking around the park, going for a walk is like the best thing you can do, I think. If you're not really into working out, one thing I used to do was get up early before, like as the sun was rising, and I would go and take a walk and just kind of see the sunrise, and like, early in the morning before you start work, before you do anything, before you go anywhere. And I was like, it was just quite nice. And if you haven't had any breakfast, you're walking on an empty stomach. I think I think it's that if you go for a walk on an empty stomach, it can help you lose weight or something like that. Not that you need to lose weight, not that I would do it to lose weight, but it is something you can do. It's a good exercise thing to have if you don't like working out. But going to a workout class or going to the gym is great. It gives you that motivation. Not all the time, I have to admit. Sometimes I will go and work out, come home, and I'm like, I've had enough of this. But sometimes it does make me feel like ready to go, which is good. Whether you do it in the evening, in the morning, whatever suits you and your lifestyle, like just do something that suits your life and what you feel comfortable doing. I have to admit though, if you go to a class, whatever class, Pilates, like HIIT, I don't know what other classes there are many a class out there. It's a really good way to feel like you're being social without actually being social. So like when you're in a class, obviously you're working out with multiple other people. You don't even really pay attention to them. You only pay attention to yourself. But it's kind of nice to know that you're at a class with other people. You're not alone. So you feel like you're a part of something. You feel like you're doing it with other people. And obviously you can make friends at these classes if you want. But I never speak to anyone when I work out. I don't really want to. I just but it's also, it feels nice because you don't feel alone. So if you are someone like me, maybe if you live alone or you are feeling quite lonely, going to a workout class where there's lots of people will make you feel less lonely because you're doing something where there's loads of people, rather than going to the gym where you're on your own and you've got your headphones on. Whereas like in a class, music's blaring and you're just kind of doing what you're doing and everyone's doing it together. I just think it's a nice way of doing it. And like I said, it's being social without being social. You don't have to talk to anyone. You don't have to be friends with anyone. But there's people around you and you don't feel like you're just spending all your time doing these things alone. So group classes are really, really good. Even if you have a friend that maybe you want to go to a class with, that's a really good way of like still having a bit of social time, but working out at the same time. That is a really good thing to do. If you're like, I don't really want to be social, I don't really want to go out, I don't want to have drinks, I don't want to do that kind of thing, but I do want to work out. Taking your friend to a workout, really good way of doing two things at once. Do you know what I mean? That is what we like. That is what we like. Going back to the first point is that you don't have to cut out all the bad things just because it's January. I, as I said, felt a bit guilty about this, and I think a lot of people do. We feel like we can't have chocolate. We feel like we can't eat badly. We feel like we can't drink. We feel like we can't do all of the lovely things that we like to do that make us feel good, that, you know, we do with friends and be social with, because it's January. But the actual question is, why? And the only thing I can think of is because society makes us believe that in January, it's the start of the new year, you have to, you know, really like focus on your health. No. I saw this TikTok about how, you know, in January you should be like, it's like hibernation months. You should be taking it slow. You should be chilling out. You should be just like, you know, doing whatever your body feels like it needs to do. And if that means, you know, still having a few takeouts a week, or having a chocolate bar, or having some wine a couple of times a week, do whatever you want to do. It's your life. And I think that, like I said, as long as you're starting something and you're introducing something into your life that you want to do, whether that's working out or whether that's reading a book, then, you know, the other things can stay. There's no harm in it. As long as you're not overdoing it, there's no harm in it. And, you know, it's cold, so have the things you want to have. Eat the food that you want to eat. It's totally okay. When we get to summer and, you know, you're really like out and about and you want to be like a health queen in the summer, go for it. I feel like health queen in summer is so much easier because you can, you know, go on your long walks, go on a run, you can eat healthy, you can, you know, just feel like do you know what I mean? I don't know why we do it. Maybe we should move the start of the year to the middle of the year. Do you know what I mean? And then maybe we can all like not feel crap for eating a whole bag of Maltesers in an hour. Because believe you me, I absolutely have done that. Or mini eggs. Oh my God. I can't even express to you how many bags of mini eggs I've already eaten. We're in January. Christmas chocolate stopped at the end of December. That is bad. But also, doing what I want. That's the main thing. Whilst we're on topic of that, about, you know, having whatever you want, is treat this month like it's any other month. I guess January is like, okay, here's my thought process on this, right? December is kind of like on its own as a month because there's so much going on. There's parties, there's like, it's Christmas and everyone's like buying gifts and stuff like that. There's lots going on. So ignore December in this. But treat January like any other month. If you took January and plonked it in between May and June, what would you be doing? Like, what would you be doing in May and June other than the weather? Let's take away the weather and take away like the holidays that you have at that time of year. What would you be doing? You'd probably be living your life normally. You'd probably would maybe have slipped off the healthy eating and be having some nice drinks in the evening, or, you know, buying yourself some, I don't know, I can't think of a really good treat, like a croissant or like a little cake. You might be doing that a couple of times a week because you've slipped off the healthy bandwagon. So treat it like any other month, but just obviously do things in what's the word? Moderation. You don't want to go crazy on the bad eating, but at the same time, like, do what you want. But treat it like any other month, because it is just like any other month. It's like how I feel about New Year's. New Year's is the only thing that changes in New Year's is the year and the date. That's it. And we feel like we should be doing so much. I say slow down. I say treat it like any other month. Just do whatever you feel like is right for you. And if that means you want to be a bit healthier because you know you ate really, really badly and that makes you feel a bit gross, then do that. But if you're like, I'm just going to eat a bit healthy, but I also want to eat my crap food, that's okay. That's basically where I'm at. So if anyone's out there that's also feeling like that, I'm with you. But yeah, just treat it like any other month, because it is. It's just cold, which we hate. Here in England, we're terrible at it. It's like we could never be happy with the weather. I'm such an English person as well. Like when summer comes and it's boiling hot, I'll be like, oh, it's too hot. Then when it's cold, I'm like, oh, it's too cold. It's terrible. It is terrible. Already mentioned this, but do whatever you want. Like treat the start of the year however you want to do it. And I think when you take control of the start of the year and you take control of how you want to do it and how you want to live your life, it makes January so much better, because you're not listening to what you think other people would be saying or what society says. You're actually thinking, do you know what? I quite like to just have a really chill month. I quite like to have some takeaways here and there and eat my chocolate and have a few glasses of wine. I quite like to do that, and that's what I'm going to do, because that's how I feel. If someone's blasting all over social media that they're constantly working out, sorry, I know I do share that sometimes, and you're feeling a little bit like, okay, you can mute them. You can just let those people do their thing. Everyone's doing their thing, right? Everyone wants to do their life how they want to do their life. But like, just take control of it. Take ownership of the fact that, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to live my life like this in January. I don't give a shit. It will make you feel so much better, because when you stop worrying about the thoughts of what someone else might say or might think of how you're living your life, you're then only thinking about that. You're not actually truly living your life. So do you know what? If you want to do what you want to, that makes no sense. What I was going to say is, do you know what? Do whatever you want to do and just enjoy it. Enjoy January as best you can, because let's face it, none of us enjoy January. No one does. So we've got to make it as fun as we can, and we've got to do things that make us feel good to make us get through it in some capacity. Because believe you me, I would much rather stay in bed some days, but I still force myself out of bed because I'm like, I've got to enjoy this. Not like in a, I must enjoy my days, but in like a, I've got to kind of get myself going. I can't just sit in bed. Life doesn't stop. Do you know what I mean? Next is booking in things for, future plans or just things to do. So like whether that's booking in to see a friend, or maybe going on a little weekend trip away, or booking in your workout classes or appointments or anything like that. Book like bits and bobs in, going for dinner, going on dates. It's a great time to go on a date this time of year. Because, now that we're end of January, it means that more people will actually probably want to go for a drink, because a lot of people do dry Jan. So now people are more likely to go for a drink, so they might be more up for a date. Less kind of, walking around a park with a coffee kind of vibe, and more like, do you know what? I have to admit, like, I've been on a coffee date, and don't get me wrong, it was nice for a first date, but like sometimes you need a little bit of Dutch courage. You just need a little bit of something to make you feel a little bit looser, so you don't feel so like stiff. Do you know what I mean? So it's a great time of year to go on a date. Get some dates in just to make yourself feel busy. Honestly, like, I have a very, very, very slow kind of life. I'm not go out and do loads of things all the time. But then saying that, sometimes it will come along and I'll be like super, super busy and I'll have loads of events to go to. But for the most part, I would say I'm quite a wholesome, relaxed, chill kind of person. And I like spending time at home in an evening. And I don't really like to go out all the time. I don't. So that is something that, I like to do. I like to look forward to spending an evening alone. But some people are not like that. And that is completely okay. So book some things in. Book some dinners in, or even if it's just going for a walk. Sometimes I meet my friend Angie just to go for a walk, a chat and walk. cheapest thing you can do. But it's great because you get to chat, you talk about lots of things, but we'll just walk around and it's amazing. So, book in whatever you want to book in, dates, things with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or maybe it's seeing your niece or nephew, maybe it's going home to see your parents. That's something I actually need to book in because I really miss seeing them. When you spend time with your family over Christmas, I don't know if anyone else is like this. A lot of people probably usually like get away. I need a break from my parents, but I stayed at home for 9 days, came back to London, and I was like, I miss hanging out with them. So I definitely need to see them. That's a good thing to do. Book in, see your family, make plans. Even if you've only got like a few things, make plans with yourself. If that means like going to a cafe one day, or maybe that's going around the shops, or put them in your diary. Make yourself busy. Baking a cake, making a loaf of bread, making a banana bread, making a really nice dinner. Book it in. Make yourself excited for these really small things, because the small things are fun. I was even talking to someone earlier about how I have to like plan in my hair wash, and I'm sure a lot of girls can agree with this. I have to plan it in. I don't have super long hair, but my hair washing process is still a process because I've got quite thick hair. I've got a lot of hair. And when I'm washing it, that's one thing. Then it's like drying it. And then it's like, it's a process. My hair takes a year to dry. Not quite a year, but you know what I mean. So yeah, booking in things to look forward to is a really good thing to do. And I have to admit, it has helped me. Granted, one of the things I had at the end of Jan, which I will be away when you're listening to this, is Copenhagen Fashion Week, which is a work trip essentially, but like I knew that was coming, so I think that's been like an exciting thing for me to look forward to. But once now that we're at the end of January, you've got Valentine's Day coming up, and if you're a single gal or guy, don't stress. You can treat yourself. Buy yourself the flowers. You don't need a man or a girl. You don't need anyone. Buy yourself the flowers. Treat yourself to a nice meal. Then it's March, spring's coming up, the days are getting longer. Do you know what I mean? It's getting better. So yeah, plan some things in. One thing I'd have to highly recommend, if you're really struggling to get up in the morning, you're finding it really, really difficult, is getting a Lumi light, or like what do they call them? Is it a blue light? I think it's called a blue light. One of those lights. Anyway, I have a Lumi light, and it like starts to wake you up like half an hour. The light starts half an hour before your alarm's going to go off. So it kind of makes your room fill with light. And so you're not waking up to pitch black, which I have to admit is one of the best things I've ever bought. My sister's got one. My dad's got one. I just think they're amazing because you don't feel like you're just waking up in like the middle of the night. It's actually like morning, and your body understands that when the light's on, it's morning and you need to get up. And I think it's amazing. Granted, half the time I don't want to get out of bed, but it does help because I know that the light's on, and that means it's the morning. If I roll over in my sleep and it's like, you open a little eye, and you're like, oh, it's still pitch black, it's not time to wake up. Do you know what I mean? Or if it's starting to glow, you know that soon the alarm's going to go off. Honestly, a Lumi light's great, but you can also get, I think they're called blue lights. I'm not really sure. You can get these lights that you can have in your flat, maybe by your desk, if you like work from home, or if you're at home on the weekend, and you want to have a bit of light to brighten, give you a little bit of a wake up. They're really good apparently to just have around, and just like kind of feels like sun, I guess, but it's not. It's an artificial light. But apparently they're good if you also need a bit of a boost in your flat that's not a Lumi light, because a Lumi light is an alarm clock. But bloody hell, I love my Lumi light. It's great purchase. And when I really didn't think my dad would use his, and then when he was like, oh, I love it, I was like, amazing. I think everyone should have one. One thing you can do if you're struggling to feel busy, or you're kind of bored of what you've been doing, everything's just kind of samey, do something creative, or try something new, whether that's like doing a bit of drawing, colouring book. I love a colouring book. Who doesn't love an adult colouring book? How fun. I love it. Adult colouring book, do a little bit of painting, go to like a arty class of some sort, pottery painting. There's loads of classes you can do that are quite artistic. Or try something new, whatever floats your boat. Do you know what I mean? There's so many things you can try, so many things to do. Go to a gallery, do something that you feel will kind of either get your creative juices flowing, and if you're not creative, then that's fine. Do something that will kind of get your brain going. Maybe read a book, or do something that takes you away from what you're already doing, whether that's going somewhere or doing it at home. Doing a puzzle, something creative that takes your mind away from life. So that's why I say colouring book, because it's really good to de-stress with a colouring book. But a puzzle is a really good way. Do you know one thing you could do? Play Sims. I love playing Sims. I haven't played Sims in a while, but it's a really good thing to do, just to like anything to take your mind away from maybe the thought of the fact that it's January and you're feeling low, or do you know what I mean? All you need is just something that's gonna make your brain just feel a little bit like, oh, away from social media, away from everything else. It really, really will help, because social media has a hold on us. And we don't need that. Not right now. Get creative. Do something fun. Paint a picture. Paint something in your house. Do you know one thing I did do once, which was really fun? I had this canvas on my mantelpiece, and I bought the canvas, and it's just white acrylic paint, and I just played around with it, and like it's kind of like textured. Great thing to do. Just a little bit of artistic flair going on. You know, candle painting is another good one. Just like cute, fun little things that one you can do at home, but also you could go to a class, you could do something creative outside. Yeah, I'm here for it. And the last thing that I'm going to mention, and something I think is really, really important, is speaking to friends, family, boyfriend, husband, wife, girlfriend. Speak to someone. If you're feeling low, if you're feeling a bit crap, please speak to someone. If you don't want to speak to family, speak to like a therapist or something like that. If you want to send a message on the Still Got Time podcast Instagram, you can do that. If you just want to vent and you just want to, like, you know, just say, I'm just going to vent, I just want to say something, just get it off my chest. You don't have to reply. Please feel free. The space is there for you to do that. And obviously I'm not going to share it with anyone, but if you do just want to say something, you just want to talk, but you don't want to speak to your family because you just don't feel comfortable, that's okay. But if you do feel comfortable, if you're lucky enough to have that, and you feel like you could speak to your family, or you want to, or you just feel like you need to tell someone, then absolutely do that. I think that when you're feeling really low, it's so important to just tell someone, because often they might give you a little bit of advice, or they might say, okay, I don't like the fact that you're feeling low, let's do something. I always like speak to my friends if I'm feeling a bit crap, and you know, they'll be like, why? And they'll be like, oh, I think this, and then they'll say something and you think, yeah, maybe I should do that, maybe I should try something new, maybe I should get myself out of the house, because I'm really, really good at staying at home, like really good at it, to the point sometimes where I'm like, Charlotte, you need to leave the house. Not like excessively, but it could be like 2 or 3 days and I won't have left the house. That doesn't happen so much anymore. It used to, and I'd be like, oh my god, I'm embarrassed for myself, what am I doing? And like sometimes you just need someone to be like, go for a walk, go get yourself a nice dinner, walk to the shop. Do you know what I mean? Like you just speaking to someone will really help. And I find usually it's just my best friend I'll speak to. I'll just say, oh, I'm feeling really crap today, like this, that and the other, and we both bond on it because we're feeling the same. But it's honestly a lifesaver, because I was talking to my friend about something that really had irritated me, really, really bothered me. And it kind of got me into even deeper, even lower of a mood than I was already in. And she put like a really good analogy on this situation. And I was like, oh my God. She completely turned it around by just that one little analogy that she said. So I do think it's important to speak to people and have a conversation. You don't have to go deep into it, but just be like, oh, I'm feeling a bit crap at the moment, I just don't feel like myself, and maybe say, look, I'd really like to do something, can we do something, because I'd really like to boost my mood. You know, you don't have to wait for them to say something. Ask your friends, like, do you want to hang out, do you want to do something, watch a movie at mine where we don't have to leave the house? Bliss. Make some nice dinner. Oh, amazing. Wholesome life is so underrated. I think a lot of people think that wholesome people that just want to chill in January or whenever, because I chill a lot, I like it all year round, people think it's kind of boring, but it's not. Wholesome lives are the best lives. I'm telling you right now, if you want to live a wholesome life, absolutely live a wholesome life. When you let go of those thoughts that someone is going to judge you for the way you want to live your life, you will live a much happier and much better and much more fulfilling life. Because since I let go of that idea that people would think I was boring, I love how I live my life 10 times more. I really enjoy this slow, like wholesome, chilled life where I don't feel the need to be going out and being busy all the time. And I feel like really content being sat on this sofa, watching a movie, watching Sex in the City. But yeah, I really do hope you're all feeling okay, and I really do hope that this has helped you somewhat. I'm really struggling to get into the podcast mindset recently, probably because it is January and I don't feel very like, woo, yeah, let's go. So I hope that these episodes at the start of the year have been nice to listen to and you are enjoying them. And any feedback would be very much appreciated, because I want to make sure that I'm talking about things you guys are actually interested in listening to. And I feel I have gone down a bit of a, should I just give up thought process as of recent, which I don't want to do because I really enjoy doing this, but I have been feeling like that. So I too am having these thoughts and not feeling my best the whole way through Jan. So just know you're not alone. I am feeling it too, and I have had many a feeling of self-doubt over this month. So you bet I'm ready for some sun. Not that the sun's really coming anytime soon, but I'm ready for it. I just want spring, to be honest. I think spring would boost my mood. I'm also born, I think it's the first day of spring, second day of spring is my birthday. One of the two, 21st of March, in case anyone wants to know. But yeah, anyway, I hope this made you feel good. And if it didn't, it's okay. I too am having those low moments. We all have them. Just try and do what you can today and make yourself feel as good as you can. And that's the main thing. If you got yourself out of bed, it's the most important thing. You did something, you achieved something, and that's what we like to see. But I love you all. Thank you so much for listening. Please do give the podcast a 5-star rating on Spotify if you did enjoy it. It would mean a lot to me. And do follow the Still Got Time podcast Instagram if you want a bit of inspo, you want to catch up, you want to know when an episode is live, and the Still Got Time podcast TikTok if you want to have clips of little snippets of advice. That's the place to go. But yeah, remember, you've still got time to have a lovely January. You've still got time, well, maybe not January, but you've still got time to come out of the winter blues. You've still got time to make yourself a little bit better, and you've still got time to just take the year however you want to do it. Take it slow, take it quick, whatever you want to do. Roll with it. Anyway, I love you all, and I will see you all next week. Bye.